You can start. Namaste, everybody, and welcome once again. We are back with astro scientist Navneet ji. Navneet always comes with a bag of something that he always surprises. He's a magician, and whenever he comes, he brings some new tricks in his bag. So today he is back with some trick he wants to teach us. So it is on Saturn and Sade Sati. So Navneet ji, welcome on this channel, and gratitude that you have taken my request to come and share some of your research that you have been doing, some deep research on nakshatras and Sade Sati. So Navneet ji, welcome and take it over from here.
Hare Krishna, Dr. Pai, and it is an honor to be here on your channel. And you're always an inspiration to a lot of people like me. And in this Jyotish world, one of the most humble and knowledgeable guru teacher that I've ever met is you, sir. And I've always said this in all the videos of mine that you can have lot of knowledge, but when you have humbleness with that knowledge, that makes someone very, very beautiful, not only from outside but from inside as well. So it is such an honor to be here with you, sir, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my knowledge here on this platform. So sir, this video is all about Sade Sati, and this motivated me when I was doing my consultations. A lot of people, a lot of natives who've come and said, Navneet sir, when we were going through our Sade Sati phase, it was not all bad phase. There were certain times when we got married in the Sade Sati, we got promotions in the Sade Sati, we had excellent business ideas during the Sade Sati, and also we did certain partnerships which were fruitful. So I mean, there is so much of fear and anxiety which is there when it comes to Sade Sati or when it comes to dhaiya. So today what I will reveal here is a special technique that we have researched, is how there are certain good periods in the Sade Sati. And when we were learning Navtara chakra from you, sir, we at that times also I got this inspiration that one fine day we can get these inputs of the Navtara system, not only for the dasha analysis or the graha analysis, but also for certain transits, so that are very, very important. So what I'll do is I'll share my presentation here. It's a very small 5-6 slides practical presentation, and I will also give you inputs on what I have felt during the consultations of various natives, and then this will become very easy for the viewers to understand. So Sade Sati is a very all of you know what a Sade Sati is. That 7.5 year long period of Shani, when Shani transits over your moon, a house before the moon, and the next house, or the next Rashi before after the moon. So Sade Sati is 7.5 year long period. This is the pictorial description. So if you have moon here, the moment Saturn enters Aries here, so it will remain here for approximately 2.5 years, and then goes to over your moon, and then for the next. So this is what is Sade Sati transit all about. Now, I was always wondering, why moon? Why the Sade Sati was not made with sun, or maybe Mars, or maybe Mercury. So what happens is, this can be understood very clearly from the Navtara Nakshatra Chakra, because based on the Vimshottari Mahadasha system, your life starts with the Dasha of the Chandra Dasha. Wherever your Chandra is present, so that becomes your Janma Nakshatra, and the Lord of that Nakshatra starts your Dasha system or your life. Now, see, what happens is, that whenever a native is born, you are or I am born because of my past life karmic settlements. Because we have done certain deeds in our life. Especially, I would rate the bad deeds would be more and the good deeds would be little less. Although we are better than thousands of these people around the world. But on the same time, what happens is that whenever there are, 7 planets in the row and standing in front of Vishnuji, there's one planet which is given the responsibility, to just to do justice to our karmas, right? So if we have done some good karmas, right, make sure that those good karmas are, are well treated in this janma, and the bad karmas do not overtake them. Similarly, if you've done really bad karmas in this life, right, then you must learn from it. You should analyze yourself that what was the mistake. And Jyotisha is a science which is a complete analytical science. It is not prediction. People are saying, oh, predict me this, predict me that. It is more of guidance. So that guidance is given by Shani. And Shani, whenever will try to move towards the epicenter of your karmas, the starting point, the Janma Nakshatra, it will start giving you those inclinations. So that is why during our discussion of the Navtara system. So this is a Navtara system. It's a lot of people have understood this online. I mean, it is a lot of videos are there. So the first, you know, system or the first vertical is the Janma. And you see, if you have 27 nakshatras and if you divide them into 999 over here and you start your life from the Janma nakshatra. So this native is born with the Anuradha Janma nakshatra, and in same order, if we write them, the first and the 10th and the 19th nakshatra comes under the Janma nakshatra in this table. So this native would have started his dasha with the Saturn Mahadasha in his life. Now, you see, you divided this during the class into Janma, Anujanma, and Trijanma. Trijanma is the past. Anujanma is, if you have planets in the Anujanma, you will do certain things that are for your future. The fruits are for your future. And in the Janma, you get the fruits from whatever you've done in the present, in this Janma. And what happens is that you have these, 9 different verticals, 9 set of dashas, in your life. So first dasha is the Janma dasha, right? Now people would say Janam dasha or any planet in the uh, nakshatras of the Janma category are good. But I personally believe, based on my experience, see, it is very important to have a planet in the Janma category. If you have it in your chart, it will give you self realization that why have you taken birth? See, Janma is where you have that seed. For an example, if you were an animal in the previous birth and you were looking at a human and saying, one day I can become like him, one day I can take a birth like him, you're looking at. And then Krishna says, okay, you take birth of the human and see how free you can be in this life. Right? So when there is a planet in the Janma Nakshatra, which is moon, which is your mind, it always knows, what is the real purpose, why you are here. And that can only be seen if you become Krishna devotee and you meditate. And we are doing this video on the day of Purnima, here. And the Chandra is Sola Kala Sampurna here. We can understand that, and that is why, if you read Parashara Hora Shastra, Muni Parashara has clearly explained that the dasha of the Janma, nakshatra planet is very, very important if it is there in your life. It will make you realize, for an example, moon dasha, right? If you have moon dasha in your life, or if you have a planet which is in your the category of 110 or 19, that planet will make you realize during its dasha that what was your real purpose, what were you, thinking in the previous life because of which you are here. Lot of people will say, oh, my dasha has gone, but I didn't realize it. You have not realized it because it was in your karma not to realize it in this birth. Probably you will get the dasha, and you have not done certain karmas, you have not done certain sadhanas, because of which you will never realize it, that why you have taken the birth. You might have to take another birth, or maybe your janma dasha was has came when you were a child, right? So there was a planet, so we have moon here. Okay, now suppose what happens is that you start with the Saturn Mahadasha, Anuradha here. Okay, now one important thing about this Janma Dasha, or the planet that starts the Janma Dasha, is that it will only give you two types of growth. One is the physical growth, and second is little bit mental growth. Okay, now what happens is, suppose there is a child, and I get the consultation where the mother is saying that this child is not developing. It is taking a very long time for him to become self-dependent. I am 100% sure, without even looking at the chart, that the child is in its first dasha. And it is going to take a long time. At times, the first dasha can be over in 2-3 years. And you'll get the impression that the child started speaking, walking very early. And then there are children who take a long time to start or even talk, right? So you have to wait for the second dasha to start in their life, which is Sampat, which will make them, self-independent. Okay. For an example, if I look at my life, when I was in my Janma Dasha, I was not eating properly. My mother was always after my life. Navneet, have some milk, have one chapati. You are not eating yourself. You are not studying. You are not sitting yourself. The moment I came out, the first Dasha of my life, I entered the second Dasha, I started drinking liters of milk. I started having all the food I can have. I started exercising. So the second, dasha of your life makes you self-independent. So at times you can become self-independent early in life because your first dasha would be over in 4 years or 5 years. Maybe it can take 18 years, maybe 19 years, depending upon which nakshatra have you taken birth. So Janma, if you have planets in the category of the Janma nakshatras, right, they will not make you independent. Remember this. It is like a new birth. You're looking at things. You want your mama to pick you up. You want your papa to pick you up. You want mother to feed you or a nanny to feed you. And imagine, if you have a planet in the category of the Janma and you have that dasha running in your middle age. Imagine that. Right? So if you have a planet here and then the dasha comes at the age of 30, what will happen? You will, you would be completely dependent on a particular system. And if that system breaks, you're gone. You're absolutely gone. Right? But then Sampat is something where you start performing, where you start, analyzing yourself, where you start becoming self-independent. But now that you become self-independent, suddenly you entered the third dasha of your life. And that third dasha is where you start planning for your future. And when you start planning for your future, the crisis hit you, that you have no idea whether this is right or that is right, what to do, what not to do. But one good thing that Vipat does is that in the Vipat dasha, or if you have planets in the Vipat nakshatras, those planets, if you have transits and planets and dashas running, you will sow the seeds of your future. So whatever achievements that you have today with you, the seeds जो तैयारी की है, the preparation that you have done, that would be there in the vipat. You must have done lot of preparation for good times in the vipat, and whenever you are preparing, you are not comfortable, you are in stress, you are alone, you are isolated, right? And then come the shema, which is expansion, right? Which is good fortune, fruits of vipat. Whatever hard work that you've done in vipat, you will, take the results in the kshema. But this principle may not be the only principle. Imagine that you've taken birth in the nakshatras of Brihaspati. So your first dasha would be Brihaspati, the second Sampat would be Shani, right? Third would be Mercury, and fourth, the Kshema will be Ketu. So under those circumstances, Ketu may not give you the kind of prosperity, well-being, and increase of fortune that you're looking for, but he may give you prosperity in spirituality, in Jyotisha. Some things that you can do for attaining moksha, right? So I mean perception of this particular Navtara Nakshatra Chakra is very, very different from what a lot of people will assume. But then definitely, there will be a lot of prosperity and well-being and increase in moksha fortune, maybe spirituality fortune. So you can take it that way as well. So a lot of people will say and say, oh, I am in my fourth dasha and there's no prosperity. There's no fortune, there's no money, right? And then you see in the first system of Janma and the Vipat and the Pratyari, I have written exit points 1, 3, 5, and 7. Why do I call them exit points? What happens in this nakshatra system is that exit is when you can exit from a body, from a business, from a work, from a karma, or from any karmic settlement. That is known as an exit point. So when you are in the Janma, if the parents will not take care of you, you can exit the body. You see a lot of children or small infants, they may even die. So they have a karmic settlement from the past where the exit point is right very early, which is known as Alpayu. And then the exit point can be in the Vipat also. You will see a lot of people going in Vipat because it is an exit point, because a lot of people will not be able to take the crisis. That's another exit point. And you want to exit from the crisis, quickly. Whenever you have crisis, you always think that let me exit out of this situation. I cannot, carry on with this situation. That is why it becomes another energy of another exit point. And then when you reach the fifth, in the fifth Janma Dasha or fifth Dasha in the Navatara system, the most unpleasant thing comes from the children in life. Whenever you are in the fifth Dasha, most of the time, your children will be either in the second or in the third Dasha of their life, most of the cases. So whenever children are becoming self-independent, or when they are struggling in their life, most of the time they will give that struggle to you also. That will automatically be transferred to you. And on the same time, another reason for having problems in Pratyari is that you may get so much carried away in the Shema that now it is time for you to come to the ground again and understand that you can even die, you can have money, but you can still die. I remember in your lectures, you always said that, Navneet, everyone wants Swarga, 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 but nobody knows that you have to die before you get the Swarga. So death-like situations are seen here because now you are high-headed, getting carried away. Children are troubling you, they're telling you, Papa, you're not feeling good. You should go to Vrindavan, live in some ashram for good, 5-10 days, and then 5-10 months. Settle down. Please do not bring that, negative energy home. We are already suffering. We have so many business problems. These are the kind of karmas that you've done in the past are right in front of you when you are in the fifth dasha of your life, and then again it is an exit point. And I must say that if you have 4 5 dashas gone till the age of 50 or 40, the seventh dasha, the seventh exit, is a very important exit. If you reach till the seventh dasha in your life, there are strong chances of moksha, because lot of karmic settlements have happened, and in the sixth dasha you become the sadhak. Right? How do you become sadhak? The day Navneet met Navneet, that very day Navneet can become a sadhak. Nobody can make Navneet as sadhak until you meet yourself. And when you meet yourself, what will happen? It's a sixth dasha. And you will find lot of people enemies. आपको ऐसा लगेगा that the entire world is the enemy. You go to a sadhak and try to talk to him. They are angry on many people. They will give you a very different, no, no, go, don't sit here, go. That is the sadhak energy, because they have met themselves and they have nothing to do with this world. The sixth dasha. And then the seventh is where if you die, right, that's the exact exit point, because a lot of people in their seventh dasha would be in their 80s or 90s most of the time. That is the actual, but then if you have a planet, which is sitting in the category of the Nidhana nakshatras, and you have that dasha coming in the middle age, you have problems with your longevity. There can be, but then there are so many other yogas as well. Or there will be death-like situations coming in life. You may die every day and live every day, right? And then is the Mitra and Ati Mitra, where in the Mitra you start traveling. Now the soul is traveling. And soul is traveling and finding real happiness, the companionship of the Chitragupta. He's telling that, okay, this is wrong. You get companionship from Shiva. You get companionship from Vishnu. And that is the real happiness that you can get. And then the Ati Mitra, the final, if you are a Shiva devotee, Shiva is sitting. If you are a Krishna devotee, Krishna is sitting. And that is the Ati Mitra that you've always explained in your lectures, is the Ati Mitra can be only one, that is Shri Krishna. Now, why I have given you this information here is that you should understand the energy of the nakshatras, based on the Navatara system. Now, when we take inputs and superimpose this on the Sade Sati, that's how we understand how Sade Sati can be good. Certain periods in the Sade Sati can be good. Certain periods will give you a lot of self-independency. A lot of periods will give you completely dependent. It's like a new birth. A business was running, shut off, band ho gaya, over, you're starting something new, right? At times you'll get help from friends, but at times you will get a lot of problem from children. So how do we analyze this? Suppose this is a chart here, and moon, this is a moon lagna, and the Sadasati will start when Saturn will enter Libra here. Okay, and when Saturn will enter Libra here, you see, if you see exactly on the gates of Libra, we have the third and the fourth pada of Chitra nakshatra. Now we have to see where is the Chitra here. So Chitra is where you have death and danger, right? And that is when the first two padas, when the Saturn is transiting, there will be very difficult padas for you. And you start feeling as if you're dying every day. You will be so fearful in the mind that maybe what will happen to my business, my work? Suddenly the job is gone, and job was the only thing for which you were living. Such situations or turbulent situations will be there in your life. But suddenly, when Saturn will move in the Libra and enter Swati, now Swati, where is Swati here? Swati is in the Mitra category. So now this nakshatra, the powerhouse in the Libra where Saturn has just entered, Saturn will start fetching your good karmas, because Swati is holding a support which is coming from the heavens. And suddenly you start realizing that if I work hard, if I become disciplined, if I become organized, if I leave my comfort zone, I can do something in my life. And if that thought process comes in your mind, which is again coming from the powerhouse, it is not that you are doing it. If you're working hard in your life, you are destined to work hard in your life. It is coming from there. And then the same transit of Saturn will start giving you better results in life. That is when people say, oh, I got the new job, I got married, I got a wife which is like friend to me. She's a beautiful friend rather than my wife, or I got a husband who is very friendly to me. And I was in the first day of my Sadasati. Of course, you'll be in the first day of your Sadasati and you will get married, because now the Saturn is transiting over the over the Mitra nakshatras, and then it will reach the Ati Mitra nakshatra. In the Ati Mitra nakshatra, you will find a, a birth of a beautiful boy or a girl in your life, maybe whose Krishna is sent as a blessing, as a Ati Mitra, that she will always be with you as a daughter, as a son. So that is when you get the results, because Saturn is only here to analyze, your three janma. You see, these categories are three janma. So the third vertical that you see here, three janma, means whenever you have a planet in the three janma, it is the fruits are coming from the past. It is not the contribution of the janma. It is the contribution or the fruits or the results where you have no control. It is exact. If it is good is happening, you've done good. If the bad is happening, you've done bad. The only thing that you can do is to hang in there with the willpower and keep doing your mantras. That is what is three janma category of nakshatras. The last 9 nakshatras from your janam nakshatra, right? And then comes, the Saturn entering Scorpio here. The second daya starts. In the second daya, you have Vishakha 1 nakshatra, Anuradha 4, and Jeshta 4, right? So what is happening here? You have to see, so what is this Vishakha all about? Again, Ati Mitra, that is fine. And then comes Anuradha. So you think that Anuradha will be good, but one thing you must understand, that when Saturn is exactly on your Janma Nakshatra degree, that is a new birth for you. You will feel completely dependent, right? I mean, you can be dependent on this world or you can be dependent on Krishna. The choice is yours. Absolutely yours. So, what will Saturn realize you here is that you should have dependency only on that one, Krishna, right? No, there's no other, energy in this world for which you should be dependent on. Chodo, sabko chhod do. Leave everything. You have this phone, leave it. Not good for you. Either you leave it or I'll take it. Right? Think about your mantras, think about your spiritual life. That is why I have seen a lot of my students joining, Jyotisha courses during the second daya or the first daya of the Sadasati. They're meeting their gurus, during those critical points. And you can consider this to be good, because you are running towards Guru, or Guru is calling you in two times. One, when they want to call you, you've done good karma. Second, when you are in trouble. There's no other reason. And that is when Saraswati, although is trying to give you a new birth, a new Navneet is coming out of it. But it is, it is up to Navneet whether Navneet will accept it or not. If you are not accepting it, you are in deep stress and anxiety. But if you accept that very moment you feel that it is a new birth for you and you have to start everything. That is why a lot of people come and say, Navneet sir, I have started my life from zero again. everything is gone. I'm starting it from zero. So that is the point. You have to start it from a zero because you were meant to. That is the second inning of your life. And it happens with a lot of people. And then similarly, you move and you understand, what other. So you move to Jeshta now. Now you are born, you were dependent, and now Krishna has given you some blessings. Some good people have given you some blessings. And now you're becoming self-independent. So when Saturn will move into the category of Sampat, you will come, okay, I can do this. I can start a new business. I know what to do now. I've done all the mistakes of my past. That's what Saraswati is all about, to analyze and understand this is what you've done wrong in your life. And now you say, okay, I'll do it. Now you get overconfident in the third Triya at times. Everything was going fine, and suddenly you start realizing, no, I can do big. Maybe I can buy another land and set up another unit there. And then suddenly you get into crisis. But during those crises also, you have done certain karmas which will help you after your Sadhasati is over. This is what Vipat is all about. And then the real expansion comes, during the last phase of your Sadhasati. During the last phase, people say, na, Sadhasati jate jate kuch degi. It is not giving you jate jate. Actually, you've already worked for it. You are a better human being. And now the last nakshatra is the Kshema, which is giving you expansion. See, Shani will not give you anything by himself. He will dig into your nakshatra, take out a beautiful seed and give it to you. Okay, you water this plant, it will give you fruits. You have done something good. That is why I got this seed in the nakshatra. I am gifting it to you. And this seed was not kept by me. It was kept by you only in the past. But I am giving it to you in this birth. And then the Sadhasati is over. So if we can analyze Sadhasati in this fashion, one thing is for sure, that you will not be scared of the Sadhasati. You will be confident that you will have opportunities in this Sadhasati. There's no doubt about it. Second, you would know what kind of mantras or what kind of nakshatra based remedies one has to do. Because, if it is a Vipat nakshatra or it is a, Mitra or Ati Mitra, you know what temples you need to visit, what kind of charities you're supposed to do. Because, for a lot of people in the Mula nakshatra, I give them remedy of donating that iron lock or chain in a temple. And it is very effective remedy, extremely effective remedy. So you should know what kind of remedies, you have to do. That is again seen by deep dissection of Sadhasati during those 7.5 years. So if you can analyze, right, it is like short-term losses versus long-term gains. I mean, winning a battle and losing a war is not a good idea. So during Sadhasati, you can lose small battles and win the war of your life. That is the most important thing. Because if you have you know, uh, if you have two padas where the Saturn may trouble you, you have another 4 padas right ahead which are going to give you opportunity. You have to wait for your chance during the Sadhasati. And that is the message that comes from nakshatra analysis of the Saturn transit. You might feel trapped from inside, but you should embarrass that routine. You should do your duties honestly, right? And follow everything religiously. Just get out of the comfort zone. These are some of the inputs that I want to give if you're through your Sadhasati or even Daya, right? Even if you're in the Daya, you can just analyze that what nakshatras and what padas are, Vipat or Sampat, and how will you analyze those and how will you, do the remedies. Just be disciplined, just leave carelessness and just elevate from your failures. That's it. And these are the lessons, because Shani, identifying mistakes of your past means the past births, And Shani Dev is keeping track of your karma. Remember this. He will give you good if you've done good. And the best example is when you just open up the Rashi, the open up your Bhava and see the nakshatra and superimpose Navtara inputs on it. And you'll find it that you have done good karmas and you will get good results in Sade Sati as well. There is a fear, but there is no fear as well. You have something good coming as well. So this is one small research that we have done here, and I think when we were discussing Navtara in the classes, it was so inspirational. It was so inspirational. At that point of time, I had this feeling in my mind that I will do at least this research on 100 different charts, and then one day I will come up with this particular system that this is how the Sarasati, the Dhaya, the Sankata, we can analyze them, or the Kantaka, we can analyze them. Yes, sir. So
Navneet ji, this is I would say this is really fantastic. This is something that I feel every student of Jyotish should go into the depth of this system of Navatara as you have gone. And some more inputs that I would also give when you talk about Navatara, which is you've already gone to the depth of it, but Navatara is such a beautiful system, and it has not been followed as much by most of the modern day astrologers because many of them are still fixated with the Rashi based system rather than going into the Navatara based system. Now, like you said, the 27 nakshatras that are there, we divide them into three parts. We said Janma, that is typically from your natal moon. It is the first four houses from your natal moon will be the Janma. Then from the fifth to the to the eighth, from the fifth, 5, 6, 7, 8, the next four would be connected to your, it is called Anujanma, or it is also called as Dvijanma. That's the second paryaya, which means from your natal moon, the fifth to the eighth is connected to the second part. And then the last is called as Trijanma, which is 9 to 12. Rashi, from the Rashi based system. Now, when I started studying the Navatara system, always what I study in Jyotish Shastra is there is something called as a golden reference. Now, golden reference always has to be kept in the mind, in the backdrop. What is a golden reference? Like in the Rashi based system, the golden reference is Kala Purush Kundli. Aries is the first house, Pisces is the 12th house. Okay. Similarly, when you start with the Navatara system, Ketu will be the first nakshatra and Mercury will be the last nakshatra. Because, जैसे एक which was that movie, जो अमिताभ बच्चन का एक मूवी आया था, जिसका नाम था I think कालिया. जिसमें बोलता है जहां पे मैं खड़ा हूं ना वहीं से लाइन शुरू हो जाती है. So that is actually Ketu. That is Ketu's dialogue. Wherever I'm standing, from there, the line will start. So Ketu jahan pe hai na aage, he is Dhwaja. He is like the flag. So from there, the line will start. So when we start with the Navatara system from the golden reference, so Ketu's nakshatras will always be like Ashwini, Magha, Mula. They will always be the starting point. The deity who is associated with the Ketu, and in the three, when you categorize it, it is always Ganapati or Ganesha. So Janma always has to be connected to some form of Ganapati, because he is connected to the Prithvi Tattva, the Muladhara Chakra. So after Ketu, the next who is coming after Ketu is Venus. So after Janma, as you showed in the Navatara Chakra, it is Sampat Nakshatras. Sampat Nakshatras are connected to Lakshmi, Shukra, Venus. After Ketu's Dasha, always it's Venus Dasha. After Venus, it is Sun. So typically, Sun is the Vipat nakshatra, Surya. So Vipat means if you are having any vitality related issues, health related issues, that is the third dasha that comes in your life. Third dasha, immaterially you have to worship Surya Bhagwan, like giving argya to the Surya, doing Aditya Hridayam, doing Surya Mandala, stotram, so those things will definitely help you in the third dasha. Saturn, Surya is the third. Then it is Moon, Shema, naturally Shema. So who is connected to Moon? It's Gauri,
Yeah.
Mahagauri. Okay, so Gauri will definitely help you with the fourth dasha,
Yeah.
Shema dasha.
Lalita Sahasranam do wonders in this.
Absolutely. And the other thing in the fourth Mahadasha is, I also, in my experience, I've said, listen to Saundarya Lahari by Adi Shankaracharya. सौंदर्य लहरी लोगों ने भूल गए हैं, but सौंदर्य लहरी is such a beautiful thing. And if you understand the secret of सौंदर्य लहरी, what happened is Shankaracharya went to Kailash directly. He walked to Kailash, and he had the darshan of Shiv Bhagwan and Shiv Bhagwan, and they have a discussion. So he praises Mata Parvati, and he hands over the document of how he praises Mata Parvati. It was 100 verses. जैसे ये कैलाश से निकल रहे थे, when he was coming down, Nandi is very very jealous. He says, मैं यहाँ पे सेवा कर रहा हूँ इतने सालों से, बट भगवान ने कभी मेरे को ये डॉक्यूमेंट नहीं दिया है जो आपको दिया है. तो वो झगड़े में ना, he tries to pull that documents from Adi Shankara and he tears it in this. उसमें खाली आदि शंकरा के पास खाली 40 श्लोक होते, बाकी इसने फाड़ के वो भाग गया. तो he goes back to Shiv, Adi Shankara, and he complains, ये क्या हुआ है, देखो नंदी लेके भाग गया. So Shiv smiles and he says, I know that he has taken it away, but I know that you have heard me, and I think you are a very memorable guy. You will complete that. So the first 40 verses of Saundarya Lahari is the original work of Shiv. And the next 60, it is called as Ananda Lahari. The first 40 verses of Saundarya Lahari is called, what is Saundarya Lahari? Waves of beauty. 60 verses memory से उसने complete किया हुआ आदि शंकरा ने. 100 verses. And that is the real secret behind Jyotish. If you understand Saundarya Lahari, you will understand a lot of our healing comes from Saundarya Lahari. Because that is a direct word which is on Saundarya, means it is on the beauty of Mata Parvati. Shiva has given the description of Mata Parvati in the first 40 verses. Okay, so after we come towards the moon, which is Shema. What comes after the moon Mahadasha? It is Pratyak, which is Mars.
Yeah.
Skanda, Kartikeya, Subramanya, Murugan. He is the main deity who will help you. Pratyak, which means when you have enmity, any obstacles, you have to overcome that. So for Vipat, it is Surya. For Pratyak, it is always Skanda. Okay. So Pleiades, Kritika Nakshatra, you will say, he is Pleiades.
Yeah.
So after Mars comes
Rahu.
Rahu, is also, it is said to be connected to your sixth Mahadasha. Rahu is Durga. Sadhana, Shakti, Navatara, we talked about,
Yes.
Durga, Navadurga.
Yeah.
That is another way of trying to see the whole system of astrology can only be understood by Shiva and Parvati itself.
Yes.
The wholeness that gives you is Rashi, base system is Shiva.
Yeah.
The parts that you are seeing, which is, the what we say, the Navatara
Yeah.
system,
Shakti.
the padas are all Shaktis.
Yes.
So within the wholeness, which is the space, which is the space in the sky, is Rashi. The time sliced in between,
It's
wherein
Shakti.
we say Nakshatra padas is Shakti.
Yeah.
There are nine. There are nine padas in every Rashi. There is Navadurga. So who are the Navadurgas? Shaila Putri is the
Yes.
first.
Yeah.
Okay. Then see, there are various systems. I was talking about the system from the South Indian perspective, which is based on the Vara Chakra.
Yeah.
There is another system also. Okay, so that I've not talked about. But Shaila Putri, Brahmacharini Devi, Chandraghanta, Kushmanda, Skanda Mata, then Katyayini Devi. Then after Katyayani, it is Kalaratri, Mahagauri, and the ninth is Siddhadatri.
Yeah.
Which gives you the spiritual attainment. So after Rahu, which is a Sadhana Nakshatra, which is Durga, Navadurga, and Shakti, then you go into the Jupiter Maha.
Jupiter. Yes.
Okay, Jupiter is connected to Shiva, which is your Naidana Nakshatras. Then Mitra, which is Saturn naturally, which is Kali, and Ati Mitra, which is Mercury, which is Krishna.
Yes.
So he is, the best friend, Krishna, Ati Mitra Nakshatra. So we beautifully explained the whole system today. That typically you start with Naidana. Also remember, when your Sade Sati starts, there is a lot of fear because your Naidana Nakshatra is also connected to your Manasika Nakshatra.
Yes.
That when
Yes. Yes.
So the progression that we are happening, and what is Sade Sati, have also understood Sade Sati in a different way from a doctor. From an Ayurvedic doctor, he says Sade Sati is nothing but it's your cell transformation which is happening. Old cells die and new cells are born.
Like a new Janma.
It's a new Janma.
Yeah.
So the old cells are transmigrating.
Yeah.
So उसमें क्या होता है कि 7.5 years देते हैं कि पूरा शरीर का जो 30 years में ना एक बार पूरा सेल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन हो रहा है. Every cell is dying and new cells are being regenerated.
Yeah.
So that is why you feel Sharirika karmas are also going to be, because you said that it will come into your Janma nakshatras. Coming from your pre-Janma nakshatra is going into Janma nakshatra. Janma nakshatra में जब जाता है तो it is, that is when the transformation is happening in the 5-year period. So the the 3 Janma nakshatras, when Saturn is transiting, it is, giving you that thing of slowly the transformations have started.
Yeah.
So this is how this whole system works. But I'm glad that somebody like you, who has the inquisitiveness and the clarity, you are very eloquent, you are very articulate, you are very thought provoking. That is what I like about you. And whenever I see your videos, I feel so calm, because जो आपका पेशेंस है, जिस तरीके से आप समझाते हो लोगों को, even somebody who has no knowledge will love to learn from you. That is their beauty. And इसलिए मैं बोलता हूँ कि आपके ऊपर बाबा भोलेनाथ, because see, what is Baba Bholenath? Baba Bholenath is Somanath.
Yeah.
Somanath is the Kulguru of Krishna's lineage.
Yes.
He worships Somanath. And the first Somanath temple was built by Chandra Bhagwan.
All gold.
गोल्ड में किया था उसने, सोने में.
जी.
उसके बाद बोलते हैं कि कृष्ण भगवान ने किया है, उसको पूरा वुड में किया था.
जी.
And that is the only temple you can think that it was plundered almost 18 times.
Yes.
18 बार उसको ये आता था वहां से, अफगानिस्तान से, ही यूज्ड टू प्लंडर एंड गो। जैसे वो सारा लूट लेके जाता था, विद इन 1 year ही कम बैक इन, अट्टा भर आके इसने लूटा है।
Yeah. Yeah.
So can you imagine the importance of that temple is very, very supreme,
Yeah.
Somnath.
Yeah.
So Somnath is where even Chandra Bhagwan has been forgiven his curse.
Yes.
What was given by Daksha Prajapati, he prayed there and he got relief from that. And
Yes.
Somnath,
Yes.
Somnath came and gave him that.
Yes.
So I feel what you try to bring today with the Navatara system is very, very appropriate, unique, and it can only have come from you, Navneet ji, because I feel that kind of teaching can only come from somebody who has been a great, devotee of Krishna, as well as your Guru, Neem Gauri Babaji. These are all his blessings. So, thank you very much for coming and
Thank you,
enlightening us.
sir. Thank you,
What
sir.
inputs you can do before we wrap up today's
So
discussion? But
input, yes, a small input is that during this Adasati, I have one thing that I've really found very, as a very effective remedy is wearing Rudraksha,
very
right?
good.
And especially, there's one technique is that you should make your Chandra Kundli, and in the Chandra Kundli, you should see the placement of the fifth lord.
Okay.
Okay. So whichever house is the fifth lord or how the signs away, that Mukhi Rudraksh you can wear. For an example, if it is Vrishchik Lagna, right in the Chandra, you just saw the chart. So 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, fifth lord is Jupiter. Okay. So you have to see the placement of the Jupiter and count from the fifth house. So if it is in the fifth house itself, then you wear Panchmukhi.
Sure.
Okay. So if it is in the sixth house, Chemukhi, seventh house, Satmukhi, Athmukhi, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay.
Sure.
So if it is in the Lagna with the moon, then you wear Teramukhi. If it is in the second house, then Chaudamukhi. Third house, Pandramukhi. Okay. And if it is in the fourth house, then you wear the Solamukhi. Okay. So from 5 to 16 Mukhi, we can wear, and this really helps because, the Rudraksha tree also takes approximately 7 to 7.5 years to grow. And it is associated with Ketu and Sadasati.
Correct.
Okay. And it is again coming from Shiva, Kali.
Yes.
From that root is coming from, the seventh Navtara system again. Okay. So wearing an appropriate Rudraksha in the Sadasati is absolutely the remedy that can calm you, rejuvenate you. And, as you explained very beautifully, sir, it is the formation of the new cells. And I have seen Rudraksha when it comes to your physical ailments. It is fantastic, sir.
Oh, I think I agree, on many of the things what that you are also saying. And one more thing I wanted to share is the Mitra nakshatras which are there, which is
Yes. Yes.
Mitra is called as assistant or helper.
Yes.
Now, what you have to remember is the eighth incarnation of Vishnu, which was Krishna avatar, eighth incarnation out of the Dasha, avatars he has taken. When he came, before him, there was a Devi which came, which is called as Mahamaya.
Okay.
She is also called as Vishnu Durga.
Okay.
She came and she gave the prophecy to, after his birth, when Kamsa comes and he finds a girl child, that is the eighth. He thinks he's the girl child.
Yeah.
And he flings that to kill that child, but it slips from his hands and she goes and she gives a prophecy, which is called prophecy is, she says, that the child who is your killer is already born.
Yeah. Yeah.
Akashvani, we call it Akashvani.
Akashvani. Yes.
वो आकाशवाणी कर लेती है. It's like a, what is Akashvani? It's like a publishing
Announcement. Yeah.
announcement that the child who is who is going to be the cause of your death is already born, and she is called Vishnu Durga.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Assistant is her purpose is over after that.
Yes.
She came to protect Krishna till his birth.
Yes.
And after his birth, and he was taken away from the prison. And when Kamsa comes into prison, she was there. It was not Krishna. Krishna is already
Yes.
gone.
Yes.
Taken to.
Yes. Yes.
So she was a protective goddess. That is Mitra.
Yes.
Her purpose was over till she comes to protect Krishna till his birth and till his safety. Then it's Mahamaya. Mahamaya is the ultimate Maya.
Yes. Yes.
So Ati Mitra is Krishna, but before Krishna comes Mitra.
Yes.
It's Mahamaya.
That's so beautiful. I think with this lecture and this information, nobody should be scared of Saraswati or Daya.
So what I'm saying is, see, when you start with your Saraswati, typically you give the example of Anuradha. So Chitra Nakshatra, when it starts, it is already connected to Shiva. You should do Shiva Aradhana when Saraswati begins.
Yeah.
Then it is Mahamaya. It is giving you illusions.
Devi. Yeah.
Devi. Then it is Krishna when it comes to Atimitra Nakshatra.
Yes.
Then when it is going over a Janma Nakshatra, it is Ganapati.
Ganapati. Yeah. So we can, we can easily plan the Saraswati accordingly.
Exactly, I'm saying. So Sampat Nakshatra is Lakshmi.
Yeah.
Then Vipat Nakshatra is Surya Bhagwan.
Yes. Yeah.
We have to worship. So likewise, we can slowly migrate, and it is helping with our complete transformation. The 7.5 years is a complete transformation of your body.
Yes.
And that is why in my research, I found Saraswati, many of the presidents in the United States, including our own Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he rose to power during his Saraswati. He is also Anurag Modi.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's a great Shiva devotee as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, he chose to, can you imagine, his constituency has always been Gujarat. But when he came to power, he chose, Varanasi.
Yes.
Banaras constituency to win. Who is he? He is, it is Baba, Shivji, who is in Vishwanath.
Yes. Yes.
Vishweshwar.
It is like a new birth, starting point.
It is a new birth. He started with Vishwanath, Kashi Vishwanath, as his new birth. As it was going over his Anuradha Nakshatra, he chose. Who is Kashi Vishwanath? Who is this connected to? It is Sagittarius.
Sagittarius, Dhanu Rashi. Yeah. Because from there, it is looking at your Lagna.
Lagna, exactly.
First house. And then your future, fifth house.
Absolutely. You see that? How transformations can happen in your life when you understand this principle. Yeah. So, I think this is great, Navneet ji. Thank you very much for coming and sharing. I'm so grateful.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.